Hi, it's Rob from robnonphoto.com with a look at Peter Galassi's Henri Cartier Bresson, The Modern Century. A fantastic photo book that's been put together with the retrospective, would you call it? A show of Henri Cartier Bresson's work that's going on currently, or might have just finished at the Museum of Modern Art, I think in New York. Anyway, this is a fantastic thick hardback book available from all good bookstores, online, etc., and probably available from your library pretty soon. And if you're into Henri Cartier Bresson, or you want to know more about Henri Cartier Bresson, you can't really go wrong with this, because it starts off with loads of history about Henri Cartier Bresson and the Magnum Photo Agency that he formed with the likes of Robert Capa. His travels all over the world, going to places like India, China. Obviously he was prisoner of war in the Second World War. How he developed as a photographer, different styles, working for people like, working independently for people like Life and the photo magazines of the 1950s, and how important HCB was to the development of small format cameras, people using small format cameras in serious photojournalism, because he was one of the first to use the new small 35mm Leica cameras, and really championed them, and just produced some fantastic, not only street photography but portraits as well. So after we have this great fleshing out of Henri and his background, we then go into, I'm getting there soon, the photographs themselves. And this is a nice big book. It must be 15 inches high, glorious white paper, so the photographs are reproduced beautifully. And this is where we can really start to enjoy Henri Cartier Bresson's work. Lots of really famous images. You're probably recognising them as I go through anyway, including his early work here. I really like that one. And then as we move on, we can move on through to after the war, where we go. There's another famous one from somebody from a concentration camp in India with the death of Gandhi, and then on into sort of Peking, and I think it's Shanghai, and the sort of waiting for the end of the Communist War in China, the Civil War in China to end with the victory, obviously, of the Communists. And then we have him sort of visiting different parts of the world on assignment for the Magnum Photo Agency. And Magnum was important because it really, that collective of photographers really championed the idea that the photographer should retain the rights to their images forever. So they should not only get paid for taking the images, but also get paid for subsequent uses of the images as well, so that the photographer always retained copyright, rather than was just like somebody, you took the photographs, you gave them to the newspaper or the magazine, and they were theirs forever to use for whatever they want. It's interesting really, because at the moment, especially in the UK, there's lots of activity between the National Union of Journalists and various papers who are trying like a rights grab of images, where they're saying that we have the right to use your images in online and in archive material without having to pay you again, which kind of really goes against everything that Magnum and the likes of Henri Cartier Bresson fought for in the sort of beginning days of photojournalism. So as you can see, we've got loads and loads of photographs, famous images, and those images that haven't been really reproduced before in any sort of in any form. If you're into Henri Cartier Bresson street photography, or want to learn more, you can't really go wrong with this book, because it is, it's basically everything's here. Let me see if I can find the portraits, because here we go, portraits. These are some of his more famous photographs as well. See if you find ones that I really like. Here we go. There's a famous one of Matisse. William Faulkner there. Truman Capote there. Robert Flaherty. Yeah, just amazing photographs. The influence of Henri Cartier Bresson cannot be underestimated, and I think everybody should have a really good look at lots of his photographs, and just for the pleasure of it, let alone just to learn a little bit about composition, and learning about the idea of the decisive moment, the idea of pressing the shutter when things like everything comes together, like the geometry of the scene and the action of the people within that scene itself. So there we go, Henri Cartier Bresson, The Modern Century, put together by Peter Glassie. A brilliant book to have, whether you're a Henri Cartier Bresson fan or not, and I can't really recommend it highly enough. My name's Rob from robnonphoto.com. Thanks for watching.